So, it's been a whole week since I'm making a new manga and a whole week since I posted my last video. I've done a lot in this week, so you're in for quite a treat. Remember my first point from last week, procrastinating? Well, this time, from the moment I opened my eyes, I began thinking of ideas for my story. Until I came across this Instagram reel that directly defined my story. After watching it, everything clicked. I thought to myself, why in the hell should I let the main character play around because he has the power of the ones that came before him? I'm talking about you, Midoriya. I also binge watched a bunch of Name This Domain Expansion on Instagram.
Name this domain expansion!
And that enlightened me to do my absolute best with this story, not holding anything back. Afterwards, I wrote down the story in broad form, not including dialogue and scenes. 2 days on the second day, I managed to come up with the world, which was a struggle. It was meant to be apocalyptic, and I didn't like the idea of canceling the story. So I had to go back in time and ended up settling on the medieval era. Now on day 3, I took out my laptop and typed out the story in a much more granular form. I had broken it down into 3 parts, but I managed to finish only the first and second parts, and the third the next day. It was grueling. I had to get up and move around to think of ideas for the dialogue and scenes. But I have to say that the story changed in different and many ways. It was scary and exciting to see how the story unraveled itself. And how things ended up tying itself together was amazing, but there wasn't specific names or anything like that, so I just placeholders for the meantime. I have to say, sharing my progress while I'm still in the process of making this manga, I can't help but express how I feel after finishing this stage. Fear that my art skills wouldn't be enough for the story I came up with. I thought the story would be perfect, but the problem would be my art skills at the end of the story. But I keep pushing on into day 5. So I got a character description for the main cast, and also drawn out the important locations in the story to know how the buildings and backgrounds should look like. Day 6. I drew out the irrelevant animals to know more about them, finishing up the day by coming up with rough forms of their evolutions. Lastly, on day 7, I worked on those rough sketches and brought them into their finished forms. This week has been a roller coaster of ideas, and I suspect next week to be a circus. I really want to make a better manga than I've ever made before, so stay tuned to see how far I go. P.S. My wrist already hurts and I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, so tell me what you think in the comments. Until next time, goodbye and good night.